speak now to the chairperson of the Portfolio Committee on Justice and Constitutional Development, Xola Nqola. Chairperson, good to have you, and thank you very much for your time this evening. There is a call for an independent investigation into this matter of the Justice Minister. The sense from many that are raising is that the process that you would have engaged in on Friday might have not been thoroughly independent. What's your view?
Well, those who are calling for an independent investigation have a right to do so, but us as the committee, we are doing our work as empowered by Section 55, subsection 2 of the Constitution that empowers Parliament to make sure that the executive accounts to it. I think it's a discussion on a different platform on the issue of forensic investigation. Yes, we may not have dealt with the core detail of the financial statements and the loan agreements. And the reason being is that you'll remember that we're dealing with a confidential information between two people. So handling that, we need a particular caution. So that's why we have returned to the Legal Services Unit of Parliament to advise us on how to handle that. But the minister is on record saying on Friday that she does have a loan agreement and she does have a repaid. She has repaid the loan in full in 2 installments in 2020 and in 2021, and she has financial records to that effect. She has financial records of her that show that she has, on those particular dates, transferred money from her account to the account of the lender, and the statements of the lender. She is on record confirming that they are reflecting the same amounts that were paid as a repayment of the loan. So ours is to ensure that the minister accounts and take that report to Parliament. Then Parliament will see if it's necessary to take it further and do those kind of investigations and stuff.
Is there an agreement overall in the committee about the sufficiency of information contained in that report? I tell you what, there are others who are saying, well, you've kind of stage managed the process because you didn't allow individual members to pose their questions directly to the minister. And so some of the questions that they would have wanted to pose around this report were not put to her.
No, that's quite not true, Mr. Mdluli. Members were given ample time to pose questions to the minister. They were given a first round. They were given a second round as means to allow them to ask follow-up questions. So it's not true that they were not given, they were not allowed to ask the minister directly and stuff. There is an agreement in the committee that we still need to assess that information that is still pending, which is financial statements and the loan agreements. Of course, immediately after we receive the legal advice from the Legal Services Unit. So in the committee, we are in unison in terms of ensuring that we have an aggressive oversight over the executive. And there's no one who has been disadvantaged or prejudiced when we received the report. Of course, the information is going to be complete when we receive the information relating to the financial statements and the information relating to the actual loan agreement. Remember, that's actually the bone of contention. There was some even accusing the minister that she probably has received a kickback emanating from how the Gundo Wealth Solutions assisted Polokwane municipality invest its monies into the VBS, which was deemed to be illegal. Of course, as the committee, we're not dealing with those kind of issues. The issues of legality and the investment were investigated and dealt with by the National Treasury. Ours was to actually understand what happened, and is there any possible conflict that may arise out of this kind of an arrangement. You'll remember that Section 96 of the Constitution actually speaks about a potential conflict and issues relating to ethics and stuff. So what will be a final nail to enable the committee to finalize this report is the pending information, of course, following after we receive the legal opinion.
Yeah. The view of the lender, so to speak, I mean, is the portfolio committee going to canvass that view to say it's an agreement between two people? Was there really an agreement? You can get the lender. It seems you're getting one side of the story. Are you going to be soliciting information from the lender?
As things stand, we are not soliciting information from the lender. What is on record in the committee meeting is that the lender's financial statements are reflecting what would have been a repayment of the loan are available with the minister. So as soon as we receive them, the legal opinion, we assess it, then we request for the final information from the minister. Then we will satisfy ourselves and do a report. I don't think at this stage it is necessary to call the lender. If we are able to get the information relating to the loan agreement and relating to the financial statement of the repayments of the loan.
So questions around whether or not the service provider would have been accredited to issue loans and things of that nature are not questions that you are going to be pursuing as a committee.
No, it's part of what the committee scrutinized is that why would the minister ask or request a loan of over $500,000 from a person who's not an accredited financial services provider? She has answered actually that she has tried many a times to borrow the money from the banks, and due to the credit process, so she was declined. She has equally tried to check if her pensions can assist her, and she was advised that after tax-related issues, her taxes are actually going to be a lowest amount. So we did ask her specifically about borrowing money from a person who's not a national credited financial services.
Yeah.
So she did respond to that effect from which was a question from the committee.
It seems you're taking the view that if there is then adequate documentation around the loan agreement based on the legal advice, and there is adequate documentation around the repayment, that should be able to suffice as far as the work that you're looking at. But others are asking whether or not, even with those things, the decision to take the loan itself, does it constitute conflict? And how are you going to tackle that question?
Well, yes, of course, we are thinking in a way that if there are proper documents relating to the law and proper matters relating to the repayment of the loan, that would have at least a percentage of the problem. Of course, this does not necessarily mean that conflict doesn't exist. You'll remember that in terms of the NPA Act, the minister exercises final authority over the NPA. So she is on record again explaining how she has established a relationship with the NPA, how she has been helpful and assisted prosecuting the matters relating to VBS. So if you have the minister who is alleged to have had something to do with that, so it can possibly create what one would perceive it as a conflict of interest, but she did explain that she has no actual authority over who must be prosecuted and who must not be prosecuted, which is true in terms of law. The NPA is the one that actually decides whether to prosecute or not prosecute. So that's the kind of explanation that we have received from the minister. And we believe that that kind of commitment is a commitment that us as the committee as well will be able to follow up, will be able to check from time to time whether or not there is anything that would warrant to VBS matters not proceeding on the basis that there is a perceived view that the minister may be involved in some of things. So from our side, we did a structure, but the kind.
Yeah. The section, of course, we're talking section 179, as lawmakers yourself, I'm sure you don't want to take the word of the minister. What's your interpretation of section 179 as lawmakers as it relates to the powers that directly accrue to the minister because of her position, as far as the control of the NPA is concerned?
Yeah, look, it is unfortunate, Mr. Mdluli, that there might be some allegations of a justice minister who is expected to be the one who's helping NPA proceed with matters relating to VBS, who is alleged to have been involved in some of the things. That's why it concerned us as the committee. That's why we had to call her to come and account, not only to Parliament, but to the people of South Africa as well, because they remember this has been a widely reported matter which has triggered civil society discussing about it. So we are to sit again as a way of finalizing our report. Of course, we'll look into what you are talking about as well. Then that's what will inform us in terms of how we construct our report to the Speaker. But we'll consider the provisions of section 179 as well, section 33 of the NPA Act, and section 96 of the Constitution. So those are still matters that we to consideration when we finalize our report to the Speaker.
Yeah, I suppose something like subsection 6 of 179 saying the cabinet member responsible for the administration of justice must exercise final responsibility over the prosecuting authority.
Yes, yes, exactly. That's the same wording that is used by section 33 as well.
Yeah.
Of the NPA Act.
Right. And what does that say to you as lawmakers?
No, it says the minister must play oversight over the NPA work as a whole. It is specific in section 33 that the minister must request to receive prosecutorial policy from the NTPP, and the NTPP and the minister must facilitate meetings for reporting purposes between the minister and the NPA executives. So it's a matter that we are going to take it with serious consideration as when we develop our report.
The question of the minister's suspension, I mean, the party Action SA has called for the minister to be suspended. They've written to the Speaker, but they've also written to you. Have you responded to their letter?
Yes, I did respond to every letter. I even did respond to the letters that were sent to me requesting that we call the minister, and we actually did as the committee. In terms of the structures of Parliament, we have got ethics committee, we've got other committees in terms of the rules and in terms of the powers, privileges and immunities of Parliament Act. Parliament can impose a sanction to any member that would have been found to have involve herself or himself into an unethical conduct. So you may have sanctions like reprimand, you may have sanctions like suspensions, you may have sanctions like ensuring that like a deduction of maybe 30 days salary and all those things. But that's the matter that Parliament is going to look at immediately after we have submitted our report to them. So there are many measures that Parliament may use to discipline its members. Of course, that's if they find compelling reasons to do such.